One of the things that was, I think, most exciting for Allison and I and for our family as we were considering the move here, God's call here, was the potential to reach families in our community. If you look at any demographic study of North Augusta and the surrounding area, one of the things that you will see is our community is getting younger and it is growing. And so we believe that First Baptist Church is uniquely positioned to reach families in our community with the Children's Learning Center, with our weekday program, and the fact that we are just seeing families move to our community. And one of the things that we want to do is not just reach families, but we want to help equip parents to be the primary disciple makers of their children. You see, God has given our children to us as parents to teach them and raise them in the love, fear, and knowledge of the Lord. And He has given parents, the church, the community of faith, to come alongside them, to be a resource to them, to help as they seek to do this most important of tasks, to raise their children in the love, fear, and knowledge of the Lord. And one of the things that we've found, that Allison and I have found, and that I've found as a pastor, is that oftentimes when you're discipling the next generation, much of that discipleship is as much caught as it is taught. Meaning that children and students need to see, not only hear what you say, but they need to see their parents, their families, they need to see adults around them that are modeling the very things that we are calling them to. And one of the most formative experiences in the life of a child is to see their parents and adults gather together weekly for worship. I grew up this way. Many of you grew up this way as well. And there are three very formational pieces that occur when we have children in the worship center with us. It's formational for kids. How often do children have the opportunity to see their parents open God's Word, to see them pray, to hear them sing the way that we just sang a moment ago? There is something deeply formational that happens week after week when our children see their parents and other adults around them worship the Lord with gladness. There's also something formational for parents that occur when their children are in worship with them. It is a weekly reminder to parents of their God-given stewardship, that their children are watching them and looking to see whether or not their faith is genuine, whether or not their faith is being lived out. And third, it's formational for the church to have children in the worship service because it is a weekly reminder for us of our shared stewardship, our partnership that we have with families to do our part to pray for and model the gospel for the next generation. And so to that end, and in discussions with our children's leadership team and many of our leaders who are volunteering in our children's ministry, we're going to make the decision, we've made the decision to bring our 1st through 5th graders back into the worship service with us starting on July the 27th. Now, let me just say a couple things that I need to say to you to answer a couple questions, and then I'll make myself available throughout the week to those of you. What change is this going to be for our kids? Well, it's not going to be much of a change for them. They're still going to get the same opportunity to hear, see, and respond to the gospel that they do each and every Sunday. We're going to condense that time from 2 hours to 1 hour on Sunday morning, but we're going to take the best elements of both hours and put them together. And so your kids are still, from that 9:15 to 10:15 hour, going to get quality gospel teaching, small group discussion, and an opportunity to fellowship with their peers. This also gives us the real practical ability to consolidate some of our volunteers, and it allows some of our volunteers who are not able to regularly attend worship because they are serving to have the opportunity to regularly attend worship, which we feel like is a good thing. For parents, this is going to be a little bit of an adjustment for you. And let me just say this, as a parent of 3 kids who are between 1st and 5th grade, it's going to be an adjustment for us as well. And so we're not asking you to do anything that our family is not doing. And we're going to help you by providing some additional resources along the way. And listen, it's going to be a process. You need to hear me say that. It's going to be a process, and we're going to help you along the way. And I promise you, there's probably going to be a little bit of groaning at the very beginning, But long term, I promise you there will be fruit. And that sometimes we have to be willing to do things that inconvenience us for the good of our children and for their long-term discipleship. Now, church, it's also going to be an adjustment for some of us. Here's what I want to encourage you to do. I want you to be welcoming and patient, because we can't say that we love families and value them and then side-eye those families when their kids squirm in church. Okay? Listen to me. Sounds of kids are signs of life in a church. So it doesn't bother me, and it shouldn't bother you when we have children in our worship service who are adjusting to being a part of the family of faith that God has called them to. And so let's do our best to be welcoming and patient. And listen, I encourage those parents around you. Like how much better would it be as a parent, you see them adjusting, having kids in worship service, if you would just turn and say, listen, we're so glad that you're here this morning. We're so glad you're here. Celebrate those kids being in the service. Celebrate them being here. And together, we really can have a formational effect on the good of the next generation. So listen to me. Let's do this together for the good of families and the future of our church. If you've got questions or concerns, I'm not hard to find. I'll be glad to talk with you about any of those things. And let me just say one last thing to you. We are always in need of faithful volunteers in our kids' ministry. There is an opportunity for you to serve, not only in this way corporately, but there is a specific way for you to serve on Sunday mornings and on Wednesday nights. And so I would love for you to pray about what does it look like for you to take a step to help serve children and families in our church.